Okay, let me get into the short sum up of the lesson, the question of trust. Okay, so very beginning, the introduction itself, it speaks something about what we have discussed in the previous classes, like a letter to God means a faith, a black aeroplane means risk, and then the death is inevitable, sermon at Banaras. Any other lesson projects that Madam writes the word. Same like that for this lesson also, we should take one particular word, that single word or a sentence it used to describes about the topic. Okay, so very beginning we discuss the introduction here. Okay, again, so the writer itself. Okay, we have the introduction that the honor, which means among the thieves. Okay, thieves means we may have a word like definitely they may have we may have different perspective, but the writer is going to project some other different thing is there. That's what he mean, that there is a honor among the thieves. Okay, so this story is going to illustrate means there itself we have given a meaning that it is going to explain with the help of ample example there. Okay, right from the characters, it is going to speak. So very first character, who is the very first character, my dear? Who is the very first character? Horace Danby. So Horace Danby, they have given a clear word that he is a good and then the honest citizen. Okay, and the next to that they have mentioned about the years. How many years old he is? 50 years old. Okay, the points that we have to highlight, that has to be registered in your mind. Okay, so the name of the character is Horace Danby, and then 15 years old. He is unmarried. Okay, and then he lived with his housekeeper who worried over his health. Actually, he has a fever. What fever that is, my dear? Hay fever. And then usually he will be getting that fever only on the summertime. Okay, and then he has a word like what sort of business or what sort of job he had. Okay, he used to make some of the locks. Okay, and then that was a very successful business for him. Okay, and then along with the two helpers. Okay, and then most importantly, Horace, he was good and respectable, but the last word alone, it's very important what it is, but not completely honest. Okay, so very beginning itself the writer has given a very positive word like he is like a good and respective and then honest citizen. Okay, but the end of the passage he has given a word that but not completely honest. That word alone, it is very important. Okay, so in extracts they can ask you the question, Horace Danby, and then in option they can give you good, honest citizen, and then good and respectable, but not completely honest, and then all the above. Okay, something very different they can give you with the multiple choice question. So the last word alone, it's very important, but not completely honest. Okay, and then here 15 years ago, how many years ago, my dear? 15 years ago, Horace had served his first and only sentence in where he has served his first service, my dear? A prison library. Why the writer has mentioned the prison library particularly means he loved reading a rare and then the expensive books. Okay, so what he used to do in order to read some other expensive book, in order to read some other rare books, he started to rob. Okay, so he robbed a safe every year. Safe means we know that there in the glossary I have given the word that it is like a cabin. Okay, with the help of different lock will be there. Okay, so in that safe every people used to keep some other valuable jewels or money or whatever it may be. So hereby he used to rob different safes every year in order to only to get the expensive books. Okay, not only expensive books, later we will came to know about it, and then another reason also will be there. Okay, and then every year he planned carefully. Okay, planned means he will study the thing. Every year he will be in a progress. Okay, he will study the nook and corners of the house. Okay, and then where the house owner used to keep the valuable things. Okay, at the right time he will rob the thing. Okay, and then here we came to know about it. He stole enough not only to read some other expensive books, and even he used to live his last for the 12 months. Okay, the rest of the 12 months he used to spend the money only with the help of the robbing. So most importantly, he used to rob the thing in order to read some of the rare and expensive books. The next most important thing, okay, then the 12 years for study period for the next robbing, okay, he want to spend his daily wages, right, daily expenses, right, okay, so he used to go there, okay, and secretly brought the books he loved through the agent, okay. And the next most important, the July, okay, so that word summer you should remember, and then July in sunshine, okay, that two different months you should remember there. And then next, he planned for the, which means the most important place, that, okay, what is the place of the house, my dear? Shotover Grange, okay. So how many weeks he planned for it? He studied the house for how many weeks, ma? 2 weeks, okay. He studied the house, okay. How he used to study the house, okay. He look into the rooms and even the electric wiring, and then even the parts, and even the garden, okay. So which means he is like a professional thief like anymore, but he is not like a, what it is, okay, thief who steals now and then. He plans clearly and then he will execute, that's it, okay. He is like a different thief like anymore, okay. So one afternoon what happened, he planned everything, he noticed that there in the house, okay, 2 servants, okay, they went to that, okay, some other place like movies, okay, where they used to go towards the movies. And then the family is also not there in the Shotover Grange. Why? Because they went to London. Okay. And then Horace saw them, and then he felt very happy about it. This is the right time he want to rob the house. Okay. So in order to what, he get into the which means if he was get inside the house, okay, only through behind the garden wall. Okay, behind the garden wall, and then he packed all his which means the necessary things, okay, because there he want to open the safe or he want to break the safe, okay, anything may happen, okay. So he prepared and then he reached the place, okay. So very first page we want to know about the name of the thief. Who is that? Horace Danby. How many years old he is? Okay, and then what are the positive, which means appreciation was given by the writer? Good, honest citizen, and the respectable, but end of the day he has given one hint for it, what it is, but not completely honest, okay. And then most importantly, he used to rob the, which means safes like monies from different houses in order to buy the rare expensive books, okay. And even he want to spend his rest of his 12 months, okay, only with the help of the money, okay. And then hereby we came to know about it, one particular July, okay, and then particularly the name called Shotover Grange, okay. He planned for his robbing, so he studies all over the Shotover Grange, okay, nearly like all the rooms, okay, what are the rooms was there, and then even the light electric wiring, okay, in parts. Even we can question that why we want to study about the electric wiring and all, okay. Later we will came to know about it. There the house, which means the house owner used to keep some of the security alarm, okay, security alarm. In order to diffuse that, okay, he used to study even the electric wiring even, okay, and then the even a path and even about the garden. So through the garden only he enter into the house, okay. The next most important thing, yes, whether the page is right, it's continuation, right? Are you sure? Okay, let me get into it. So the next most important in that lesson, okay, how many, which means what sort of worth that is, the jewel which was there in a cage, what is the worth, my dear? 15,000 pounds, okay. And then he mean a word that if he sold them one by one, he expected to get at least 5,000, okay. So he expected that if I sold one by one, definitely I'll get at least, okay, the minimum amount, that 5,000 pounds, okay. And then he thinks that, okay, it will make him another year for happy. Already whenever he was doing some of the robbing, he will plan for the next 12 months, but this time he means that if I rob the thing, definitely this will be helpful for me for another year, okay. And then next most important thing, which means he made a word that there in the upcoming sale, okay, there was there. So in that sale he found that, okay, nearly 3 very interesting books was there. the upcoming sale, particularly it was there in a autumn. Okay, so hereby we should remember summer means in this lesson what you should remember is hay fever. Okay, autumn season, he planned for the buying some other book, particularly how many interesting books are there? 3 interesting books. Okay, and then he would get the money he wanted to buy them, definitely with the help of this. Okay, and then he noticed already there. Okay, which means the servant, they went to the movie, right? Okay, so later when he get into the house, okay, behind the garden, he noticed that there was a key which was hanging on the kitchen garden. Okay, I hope so you are highlighting the words right. Okay, so do it, not to listen the class very blindly. Okay, so he noticed that there was a key which was there in the kitchen garden, and then he wore a pair of gloves. Can you remember that in subject verb agreement, a pair of gloves? It's a singular or plural media? Singular. Okay, a pair of gloves. Okay, so gloves, a pair of gloves. Already we have discussed. Your shoes, a pair of shoes. Okay, don't confuse with that. It is a singular form. Okay, so he has taken that. Okay, a pair of gloves. Okay, and then he put on that. He weared it. The phrase "put on" means he weared it, and then he opened the door. Okay, but he was always very careful. Okay, in order to not to leave any footprints. But even though he is very cautious, but end of a story, okay, already we have discussed that he will be caught only because of his footprints. Okay, so that point is very important. And then there he noticed a small dog. Okay, a small dog which was lying in the kitchen. Okay, and then what was the dog name, my dear? Sherry. The dog name is called Sherry. Okay, and then another statement he mean it, whenever we call the dogs, okay, by their right names, definitely what they will do, my dear, they will love them. Love them in the sense means they will not bark at you. Okay, even though you may be a stranger like anymore, but if you know the dog's name, okay, which means already we have discussed, right, 2 weeks he has studied like anymore. Okay, so even the dog's name and everything, even though how to handle the dogs, definitely he might have studied that. Okay, and the next, he came here only to rob or only to steal the jewel which was there in a safe, right? Actually the safe which was there in a drawing room. Okay, and then the Horace was wonder the moment. Okay, which means already we discussed that. Okay, he has a habit of collecting very rare books. Okay, but once he entered into the drawing room, he saw some other paintings over there. Okay, he saw some other paintings. Okay, and then he made another decision like that, why can't we collect some other pictures, okay, instead of books. So he made oscillation like anymore when he saw the pictures on the drawing room. That too, it is a very poor pictures. He thought that, okay, in order to, nowadays we are thinking that nowadays I am collecting some of the books, right? So in order to that, why can't I go ahead with the pictures? Okay, that's what he made a word that. Okay, in a small books, okay, sorry, in a small house, books were better. Okay, even he mean it, he was given a more important to the books, not to the, even to the houses. Okay, so such a very different thief he is. Okay, and then a great bowl of flowers on the table, particularly the Horace felt the nose was tickled. Okay, and immediately what happened, he sneezed, and then he put down his bag, and then he carefully arranged his stool. He had a 4 hours before the servant returns. Okay, so already he calculated they have went for the movie, right? Okay, so it will take nearly 4 hours. Okay, so he made a word that this 4 hours he want to act wisely, and then he want to take over the things which was there on the safe. Okay, and then next we came to know about that the safe was not going to be the hard to open, because he know how to break or how to open that, because which means he has a very good experience of making a locks, right? Okay, so definitely this is going to be very easy for them. Okay, and then the burglar alarm, which means even we have discussed, right? Okay, he studied about the wiring. Okay, so here he means that even the burglar alarm also were poorly built. Okay, so he went into the hall and then he cuts the wire even. Okay, but this time what happened, because of the flower which was there in the table, it gives some other pity feeling for him. Okay, so and immediately what happened, he sneezed loudly. Okay, he sneezed loudly. Why? Because means the smell of the flask came to him again and again. Okay, and then he means a word that, okay, how foolish people are when they own valuable thing. Horace thoughts. Okay, and the magazine article had described his house, giving a plan of all rooms and pictures of his room. This projects that how nowadays the peoples are very much anxious over exploring the things, or else which means exploring things in the name of, okay, like different names they used to show in front of everyone through the social media like anymore. Do you understand what I mean here? Okay, same like that here. What happened here, the owner already has written some other magazine article. There he has mentioned all the things, okay, right from how many rooms and everything which was there in it. Okay, he explained all those things. Okay, and the next, the Horace found that flowers was hindering him in his work. He buried his face in his handkerchief, but here he heard the very strange voice. What the voice was saying here? What is it? A cold or a hay fever. Okay, so hereby he heard one voice, but he was not bothered about it. Okay, because since he entered into the house, why? Because means only the reason, no one is there in the house. No one is there in the house. Even he knows that the owner of the house was there in London. Even the servants, they went to the movie. How many hours it will take? 4 hours. But even though when he sneezed, even though when he heard some other noise, what is it, whether it is a cold or fever, he was not conscious that much. Okay, and immediately he made a reply that, okay, the Horace said the word that, what it is, my dear? Hay fever, and then he sneezed again even. Okay, so without realizing that who's there in the house, okay, what is going to happen, he made a reply. And then this voice also continued. Okay, he made another additional which means information not like that, the dialogue. Okay, so he made a word that you can cure it only with a special treatment if you find out just what plants give you the disease. Okay, and then I think you had better to see a doctor, and then definitely it is going to be serious about your work, like the advice was given by the voice. But even this time also, when the advice was given, even this time also Horace Danby was not ready to, which means lend in the ears means he was hearing, but he was not realizing that who is there like anymore. Okay, and the next, it was quite a kindly voice. Okay, even he noticed later that, okay, the woman was standing in a doorway, same the doorway, some other lesson we have discussed, right? Madam rides the bus. Okay, she used to stand in the doorway, and then what she used to do, my dear? Watch the bus or watch the children, those who are playing in the, watch the bus. Okay, and then the doorway, and even the Sherry, the name of the dog, okay, rubbing against her. Okay, so hereby we can easily identify that the woman maybe belongs to the house. Definitely she may not be belong to some other strange. Definitely the one of the members on the house. That's what the dog behaves very, which means affectionate like anymore. Okay, and then the writer has mentioned about her appearance. Okay, she was very young. Okay, why? Because in the end of the story we will came to know about it. What is the difference there? Okay, she is very young, and then she was pretty, and then dressed in a red color. Okay, and then she walked towards the fireplace, and then particularly she was straightened towards the ornament actually. Okay, straightened towards the ornament. Okay, okay. So even though she made a word that, okay, she smiled at the Horace, and then she went on. However, I came back just in though I did not expect to meet a burglar. So even though he was there in a confusion, but she made a, which means she made a dialogue. She made a conversation. She made a first conversation. She never let him to make a conversation there. Okay, continuously she made it. Okay, so hereby we should think about that the clever mind like anymore. Same like that in some other lesson also, the person plays the question, the person makes some other which means a different story towards the person who was standing in front of him. A midnight visitor. Okay, who made such a story, my dear? Who is the character name? What is the correct? Azubal, right? Okay, he never let Max to think anything. He'll make every illusion story that like a balcony, and then there was a next to the balcony there was the apartment like anymore. In order to, why? Because he never allow Max to make any dialogue. He made a play like that with his word Max to think something very different. That's what. Okay. Same way what happened, this lady started to make a word like anymore. Okay, like she didn't expect any other burglar in the sense means she want to project her that okay, she is a very one of the member, particularly she may be the owner of the house, like that she started to project through the dialogue towards the Horace. Okay, Horace had some hope because she seemed to be the amused at meeting him. He might avoid trouble if he treated her in a right way. Okay, so even though the Horace has noticed that there is no any panic moment like anymore. Okay, because she was behave very cool and then gently, like she behaved very cool and gently. Okay, and then the Horace was understand that definitely if I treated her in right way, treated her in the right way means whatever she said, okay, if I obey to her, definitely she will let me to go out, okay, without making any trouble. That's what he understood. Okay, and then he replied, okay, Horace made a reply that yes, madam, okay, I didn't expect to meet one of the family even. Okay, she nodded, and then nodded in the sense means okay, shaking her head. Okay, and then I see what an inconvenience it for you to meet me. What are you going to do? Okay, she made a word. What is your next plan? Like that. Okay, Horace simply said the word that my first thought was to run. Okay, so this also be very important. The first thought he explained towards the lady, I want to run. That's it. Okay, and then this lady, of course, you could do that, but you do one thing that okay, definitely I would telephone to the police and then tell them all about you. They had get you at once. So hereby again, even though she has given a chance for him to make a conversation, but whatever he said, she made a block like anything. I will make a call to the telephone, which means I will telephone to the policeman. I will call to the police. Okay, so definitely through this conversation, Horace has understand that this lady seeks some other help from him. Okay, and the next he means that already he studied about all the wirings, right? So immediately he made a reply that okay, already I cut the telephone wires first. Okay, so very first what he did, he cuts the telephone wires. Okay, and then he hesitated on smile on his face. I would make sure that you could do nothing for some time. A few hours would be enough. Okay, and then she made a word that so next plan. Okay, definitely you are going to hurt me. Okay, but Horace paused and then said the word that I think I was trying to frighten you when I said that you did not frighten me. Okay, so hereby we came to know about it. There is no fear at all. Okay, because both of them they are in a very clear mind. The Horace suggested that, what is the suggestion there? It would be nice if you would forget you ever saw me and let me go. So hereby very genuinely he made a request. Okay, definitely I'm not going to do anything there. Definitely there you want to do one favor for me, let me go first. Okay, but the voice suddenly sharp, why should I? So you are going to rob me. If I let you go, you only rob someone else. Society must be protected from men like you. So this is like a very different statement that we will very beginning when we are reading that okay, we might have a word like okay, this lady may be right like anything. Okay, definitely robbers like okay, they will be very what it is very harm to the society like anymore. But at the end of the story we will came to know about it, even what sort of lady she is. Okay, but anyway, this statement is something very different. The society must be protected from men like you. But Horace smiled, okay, and then he made a word that I am not a man who threatens the society. So he has some other what it is, okay, ethics in his stealing like robbing like anymore. So he mean the word that I am not a man like a person who threatens the society, because he mean a word that I steal only for those who have a lot of money, and then I steal for a very good reason. So what is a very good reason, my dear? That books he mentioned there. Okay, he steal the things, okay, only to get some other rare books. And even he has given some other what it is word also, what is there, okay, he used to steal only from the people who had a lot of money, okay, that is the most important thing. And then she laughed, but this time he begged, he pleased, okay, and then thinking that he had persuaded her, that was the most important thing, okay. So like in that lesson, the very previous lesson we have discussed, like, okay, in that midnight visitor, even Ozzible will, which means Ozzible might have persuaded like anything about Max, okay, that's what Max has believed, and then he jumped over, okay. So same like that, he persuaded, okay, almost she convinced him, okay, and then, look, I have no right to ask you for anything, but I am desperate, let me go, I promise never to do this kind of things again, I really mean it. So she has given an excuse like anymore, but before you are going that, you should promise like anything that hereafter you are not going to do anything like these kinds of robbing. You can promise, then you can leave. Like that she made a word, okay. The next, she was silent, watching closely. Then she said, you are really afraid of going to prison, aren't you? Definitely this person has a very great experience already there in the prison library. He knows about it, what are things will happen on the prison, okay. And then he expected that, okay, but she made a word, the next most important thing, okay, she picked up a silver box from a table, okay, there, okay, a cigar is there in that silver box, and then the Horace eagerly he want to please her, okay. What happened, she want to give a cigar light, which means hereby we came to know about it, okay. This man, the Horace, is very ready to do anything for her, particularly not only for her, in order to escape from this very troublesome situation or very pathetic situation, okay. So this shows that, okay, the writer projects that he will definitely, whatever she says, okay, definitely this man will obey, okay. And then immediately she made a what it is plan, okay, like how Ozzible made a plan, same like that she made a plan, and then like a safe the story like anymore, because the husband, okay, she promised, okay, I promised my husband to take my jewels to our bank, but I left there in the safe. Right now he came here, okay, in order to wear all the jewels in the party tonight, okay. Tonight means in reported speech, in indirect forms what we will change, my dear, tonight should be changed into that day, today, that day, tonight, that night, okay. So hereby we came to know about it, okay. She made one beautiful plan like anymore, okay, and then she started to execute, but the Horace standby, he may not able to understand, but he is the only thing he want to escape from the right situation, okay. And then Horace smiled, and then, you have forgot the numbers to open the safe, haven't you? Even though she was never ready to explain anything, that simply she made a word that I am here to get the what it is, okay, jewels from the safe to wear, which means particularly to attend the party, I want to wear the jewels like that. But Horace simply he made a assumption that this lady has lost the number, which means the lock number. This lady also made a reply, yes, okay, and then he made a word, just leave it to me, okay, you will have within a hour, okay. So even though the woman was not explained, or she was not pleased him what he want to do, what he wants to do, okay, but voluntarily he made a word that I will leave it, definitely I will take you within a hour, okay. And then he made a word that, okay, and then he added, but the only thing I am not able to open through the lock, only the thing I want to break your safe, okay. But the lady also given a word that is not a problem, it will take a month, okay, my husband won't return, so I will have the safe mended by that time itself, okay, within a month I will repair, and then it will be good for anything, okay. Okay, and then he has opened the safe within an hour, and then he gave the jewels, and then happily she has gone away, okay. And then 2 days, okay, how many days later? 2 days, okay, he kept his promise to the kind lady, okay, the kind young lady. What sort of promise she has asked already means, he made a word that on the morning of the third day, however, he thought, which means up to 2 days, okay, the lady might be requested like anything that you are not supposed to go out or like anymore, okay. So he obeyed the word that on third day, on morning, however, he thought of books, which means he want to plan again, that's it, because the last robbing was a very fail like anymore. So he thought that he want to go for another safe, that's the only thing, okay. He know he would have to look for another safe, but he never got a chance to begin his plan. But by the noon, the policeman has arrested him for the jewel of the robbery at the short over Grunge. Okay. So hereby we came to know about it. The very third day, what happened? He was arrested by the police. Okay. So here alone the writer has explained the thing, what happened. Okay. So very beginning he was arrested only because of his footprints which was there on the opened safe. Okay. So here by very introduction we came to know, but even though when he was opening his lock in the house, he was very cautious like anymore, okay, in order to not to leave any footprints. But when the lady comes, when she was started to make him to believe, she is like one of the member of the house, like particularly she was a owner like anymore. Then what happened, okay, without any safe like anything, without thinking about it, okay, he opened that the footprint was there. Okay, because he opened the safe without a gloves. Were all over the room, and no one believed him when he said that wife of the owner of the house had asked him to open the safe for her, because the wife herself was a grey-haired, a sharp-tongued woman of a 60. So here only the writer has mentioned a word that she is not like a 30-year, young, pretty. Okay, but here the writer has mentioned a word that the owner of the house is not young, she is a very grey-haired and then very short-tongued, and the woman the age of 60. Okay, and then everyone started to think that, okay, it is like a story, the nonsense story which Horace Danby was making like anything. Okay, and then now the assistant the library in the prison. Who is the assistant in the library in the prison? The Horace. Okay, he often thinks of charming and clever young lady who was in the same profession as he was on the, who tricked him. He gets very angry when anyone talks about the honor among the thieves. Okay, so hereby we came to know about it. Both are thieves. Even the Max and Ozable also leading for the same. Okay, the Max also came to the Ozable's room in order to rob the important documents, right? Says or no, my dear. So definitely he might be like an agent. In this story also two different characters are there. Okay. But end of the day, okay, who was a very clever and tricky thief means particularly this. Okay, but even though another thing we should remember that very introduction the writer has given a word, right? Okay, he is not like a regular thief. Okay, regular thief means always who used to rob for some other reason. He will plan and then he will execute. Only for the reason is, okay, he know how to open the locks because he is like a person who making the locks, right? Okay, so with the help of his profession he started to steal something there, but end of the day what happened, okay, like in that lesson Ozable made a fool against the Max, right? In same way here what happened, the young pretty lady who was in the same profession, okay, he made a fool. Okay, so whenever he gets, which means he hears the word a honor among the thieves means he will get angry. That point also it's very important. Okay, so most important thing is there in the lesson, okay, the age. Okay,